Hello everybody, here is Lucas once again, and I've got my morning coffee already made. It's here, and I want to share the story with this mug first, because it's very interesting what happened with him, because it has a personality. That's why I called it him. This mug was actually bought in Greece because I didn't have a bowl to eat cereals, so I decided to buy this one because it's big enough to actually pour some milk and put cereal and start eating it. So that was the tool from which I was eating cereal, right? And right now I'm drinking coffee because of that. I also feel even better because I like things that's got a story, and this mug actually has story and a meaning to me, and the meaning of a significance, right? It's one of my favorite mug. Even these circles are typical for Greece, as you can see here. I don't know what's the exact name of it, but it doesn't matter maybe for you. But why the video is very important to me? This video is extremely important because I want to share my story. I want to share my story with you guys. And there are some things that actually should be secrets. There are some things that will be private. There are some things that shouldn't be even said here. Yeah, shouldn't be even said here. But I want to share that because some of you are struggling with self-treatment, that you are not treating yourself as a priority in your life, and you don't have ego. You don't have like a confidence and ego high enough. You should have a high ego in your life, and you should be a priority in your life. And no matter what you did, no matter what's happening, you should think that everything will finally be worked out. And you will figure it. Yeah, you will figure it out. And maybe right now you don't know how will you figure it out, but you will do that. And I promise you that, because I was struggling with very, very serious things, and I figured it out. And it's not about like it will figure out itself. You will have to do that. You will have to deal with your problems. You will have to cope with that. But finally, there is always a reward. It's very fucking rewarding if you get out of the hole. But you have to try. You just have to try. So maybe let's start with the high school. When I was in a high school, I dreamt about being a lawyer. And I also dreamt about being an English teacher a bit, but that was maybe more like my grandpa and grandma dream. Yeah, being a teacher. And actually I am, so I reached my goal right here because I teach English, but it doesn't matter right now. I was about to be a lawyer. I was about to go to the university, to law university, right? But I didn't. Even though I was trying, and even though I was learning a lot, I was studying a lot, I was actually educating myself with podcasts. I was listening to famous lawyers, to some, to podcasts which were being created by the best universities, the best lecturers in Poland. And actually, it was a very good thing that I didn't go to law school, to law university, because I finally finished AWF, so Physical Education Studies. And I think I learned more on this physical education studies because I met just people who were more similar to me, because sport was always an integral part of my life. And that's a very hard thing especially in a teenager's life, in an adolescent's life, to finally decide about your future, because we never know what the future is, and the future shows it just in some time. And this time is not chosen by us, this time is chosen by God or by the fate, whatever you believe in. And we never know what will happen. So that is extremely difficult and extremely hard to choose what to do when you are an adolescent. And I know that some of adolescents, some of the teenagers are just more mature and they know earlier what they want to do. For example, I had a friend whose name was Mateusz, and he has always wanted to be a doctor. And right now he's on medicine. Yeah, he's studying medicine and he's doing well. And greetings for him. He will be a doctor in 1 year probably. And he wanted to be a doctor even in gymnasium. Gymnasium is a school between a primary school and a high school in Poland. I mean, that was in the past because right now there is no gymnasium, but it's a pity in my opinion because that was a very time for me that I treated differently. That was like something between being a child and just getting into this phase, this period of a time in which you are feeling like an adult because you start drinking alcohol and all these things, right? I mean, I'm not telling you that you have to start drinking alcohol to be an adult, right? But I think that you got it. So when you are in gymnasium, you are neither an adult nor a child, right? You are 13 years old, 12 years old, so it is something between. Yeah, some of the children are starting growing up, right? It is like a very rapid growth. Yeah, you are taller. You have your hair, facial hair maybe. I mean, I've got my facial hair very late, so I didn't have it obviously, but it is what it is. But back to the topic. In high school, I was a very good student. I was training a lot, and I was actually preparing to Matura very much hard, and that taught me that hard work can pay off because I had a very good score from Matura exam. Maybe not excellent score, but I was satisfied with that. I was satisfied with that because I was always treated as a black sheep in my family. I mean, I was this one who was training basketball, who was spending a lot of time in the basement. By the way, so as you can know my story, in my basement there was a gym. I mean, I had a gym in my basement, so I was just going downstairs and I was training with my friend Marcel and Jacob and with my brother Pavel. Greetings and blessing for you all, guys. If you watch it, of course, hopefully you watch it, but not a lot of people are watching it, so maybe you don't watch it either. A sip of a coffee. And once again, I was learning a lot, and I got a very good score from Matura. I was satisfied with that, and that score was enough. That was enough to be qualified to law school or to English school. Yeah, but finally I didn't, and that was the best move. That was the best decision in my life. Like I said, AWF, so physical education studies, taught me some kind of skill of combination. And what do I mean combination? Very often in life, you've got a situation in which you just have to find out the way, find out the road, a path. In this path, maybe sometimes it's not very clear. It is a dirty road, it's full of bushes and trees that you have to cut. These bushes also has to be cut in front of you. So it's not easy way, it's not easy road. And that's what the physical education was. Maybe in terms of learning, it wasn't very difficult, but when it comes to figuring out how to talk to lecturers, how to talk with people, how to talk to especially lecturers who just didn't want to allow me to study on the next year because I wasn't a very good student on my university, and I was absent a lot of time because I started working. But not about it right now. You just had to imagine a lot of things. You just had to know how to communicate with them, what language, what words should you use, and that's very important to have those communicative skills, to communicate with each person. Because when you are able to communicate and to have a nice conversation with every and each person, then it's easier for you to do that in an adult life. So when it comes to marketing, when it comes to selling your product, when it comes to getting clients, when it comes to any relationship, like a personal relationship in person or business relationship, whatever. Communicative skills are these ones that I actually I've grown them the most, I have developed them the most, and I put a huge emphasis on developing them in my life. And I put huge emphasis on influencing my life in the way of being open-minded. That's I like doing new things. I like being open to new stuff. I wasn't closed. Like my soul wasn't closed, my head wasn't closed. And for example, once when my friend Mateusz also, but not the same one, he offered me to go to Croatia for 2 months and being a beach boy, so carrying the boards and carrying the sails for windsurfers and other surfers. This time was for me very difficult because I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money. That was the first year of my university, and I was with my ex-girlfriend, and that was a very toxic relationship. Maybe I will also go through that in front of camera, maybe even today. We will see. Because this is whole improvising. I don't have a paper on which from which I'm reading. Yeah, I'm just describing it from my head. I'm just telling the story. I'm just telling the story the way I remember that right now. So Croatia was special for me. I was working there for 2 months, and that was the first time that I actually traveled just with myself. And I traveled on my own, without parents, without any friends. Once in the past I was traveling with my brother just on Mallorca, that's in Spanish islands. But I do not recommend it because the fact that there are a lot of German people who I mean, maybe don't talk about it, right? So I just do not recommend Mallorca as a purpose, as a travel destination. For Polish people, of course, right? For German and for English people, it's all right. But independently on what I think right now, traveling alone is something that can always help you, because you will experience more. You will get to know new people. You will acquaint new relationships, like this erotical relationships, romantic relationships, and also like just friendships. Friendships which are sometimes eternal. I mean, the whole life. That can last a very long time. And that was 4 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I met a lot of people from Croatia, so Croatian people, also from Poland, so Polish people, and these were amazing personalities, literal amazing personalities, because they were courageous, they were confident, they were brave, they were open-minded, and they were about to do everything that I wanted to do. So just try new things, have fun in life, yeah. And just, they were joyful, they were smiling, and not because of the fact that it was sunny every day, but that was also helping us to be content because weather is a key factor in our mood. That's I will not lie to myself, and you will not lie to yourself either, right? But even though when it's foggy and it's snowy and it's raining or whatever, I also try to be happy because I have God. I have a lot of things from which I can gain happiness. But once again, I was in Croatia, so that was something new to me. That offer that Mateusz gave me 6 months before this trip was very concerning first. I had a lot of concerns, yeah. How would I do that? Where would I live? For who would I work? With who would I spend my free time? How would I spend my free time? Yeah, and what benefit I will get from it? Yeah, I don't know what will it be with my like the previous relationship, yeah, the current one, those days back then. And yeah, the relationship, my ex-girlfriend cheated on me during this time. I also cheated on her during this time. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, right? But we just cheated on one another, on each other. But it was what it was, yes. And this time had built me in a way of in a physical way, but also in a mental way. Yeah, my mentality has improved like so much. And the last sphere is emotional sphere and spiritual sphere. And the spiritual field was something that I discovered like I had never, like I had never known that before. And even though that I was an acolyte, so I was serving in a church as an acolyte, yes. Acolyte is a person who is helping a priest with everything around in a church, right? So during the morning mass I was serving, during the afternoon masses, sometimes evening masses, right? Especially on Sundays, but sometimes it happened that I also served during the week. And even though that I was an acolyte, I had been an acolyte in the past, I just got to know God once again and His mercy. Just His mercy. God is merciful and He loves us. And whatever we do and how far from Him we are, He remembers about us. And we have no clue how much love do we get from Him, always. And I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful to say that I am a believer and I believe in God and His mercy. Because that's the only person who's been always with me, except for me, myself. That's why it's so important to like yourself, to love yourself even, right? You, yourself, and God. These are the people who are always with you. And your angel on the right and your angel on the left. It's the bad one and a good one. Yes, who's deciding about your conscience. Yeah, that's why you're deciding if something is good or bad for you. But that was a part of my life in which I was drinking a lot of alcohol. After Croatia, I started drinking too much, definitely too much. But like I said, I started believing in God. So I had something in my head that I shouldn't have done it anymore. And slowly, that was the time of my reconstruction. Yeah, I was regaining all of my mind and all of my values as a man, because as a man it's extremely important to have values. If you have no value as a man and you can't keep your word and your words don't matter, you can't call yourself a man. You're not a real man. If you say a word, it has to be kept. If you don't have values, you'd better find them. You'd better find your values as a man. even just as a human being, having values. That's what's the definition of a human being is, because animal is based on instinct, but a human being is based on values and a faith. And we need God. We need God or something to believe in. And atheists will never be happy, even if they are content, even though that they enjoy life sometimes. They will never be truly happy. And I'm telling you, and I know it. I'm 100% sure about it. But I'm not telling you right now to start believing in God if you are not ready for that. The God will find you. The God will always find you in the right moment, that He found me in the right moment. He found me in a moment in which I was weak, in a moment that I had a lot of hesitations. What would I do in my life? What would I do in my relationship? Is this a right person? Am I a right person? So was I a right person? And this time for me was extremely difficult. I was after a year in which I first tried drugs, which I do not regret, but drugs is a different topic, and it is so much influential that sometimes it's impossible, and it seems impossible to give it up. Just it's inevitable for you to have like this fluctuation of mood when you're giving up drugs. The same with alcohol, the same with cigarettes or anything else, any other addiction. Yes, addiction works like you have something, you have a mascot, and suddenly you don't have it. It's like taken away, it's being taken away, and you feel uncomfortable with that because you are used to have this mascot and suddenly you don't have it. So rapidly your emotions, your head is telling you that something's not right. Something has changed and you have to accept it. So very often the good solution for that is to find another mascot, right? Just not to think about the previous one. Yes, let's say that we've got drugs. Yeah, we stop doing drugs and we start doing trainings. We start doing workouts, going to the gym, having a healthy lifestyle. And God found me in a very weak sphere of mine. I had problems literally with everything in my life. I had problems with finding a job. I had problems with my personal growth. I had problems with my parents because I didn't even want to just listen to them. I had like this period in life that you can call a rebellion, but it wasn't like a teenage rebellion because I was almost 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old. Yeah, so look, it's not adolescent rebellion. Yeah, rebellion. That was a huge digression of mine. But I started with the university, and that was a huge blessing for me that I didn't go to law school. And what happened after? I started studying physical education. And that's where I made most of my mistakes. Guys, I will try to continue that story for you. But remember that whatever happens, and whatever has happened or whatever's happening in your life, you will have to figure it out on yourself and by yourself and on your own. Once again, whatever will happen in your life, you will have to figure it out on your own, by yourself. It will never be figure it out by itself. But believe in yourself and believe in the power that God gave you as a human being, because we are exceptional creatures. So love yourself.